We have even more details on the Eagles' latest signing of Dennis Kelee to play possible right or left tackle. Also, there's a new report coming out. Kelee Ringo, he might be changing positions, and CJ Gardner-Johnson really hates Philadelphia for some reason. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Thursday. Broke down the Dennis Kelee signing last night during the live show, but I want to give a couple more little intriguing thoughts going into this new addition on the Eagles' offensive line. He automatically becomes the Eagles' best swing tackle. You mentioned Jack Driscoll being in there as well, but really, Kelee has the most experience, the last 2 seasons, filling in at times, not starting, did not give up a single sack. The interesting stat, though, on Dennis Kelee is that he was a former Eagle, and we traded him to Tennessee for Dorial Green Beckham. Remember him? He was the cousin, I think, of Odell Beckham Jr., super tall. I thought he was going to be the greatest Eagle receiver of all time, and that never actually turned out. And so we bring back a guy who we shipped off a while ago, played in Tennessee, then played for the Colts, now competing for a backup tackle spot in Philadelphia. What's really interesting is the last time King Dunlap was starting for the Philadelphia Eagles, this was your starting offensive line. Sorry, not King Dunlap. I meant Dennis Kelee. This was your starting offensive line. King Dunlap at left tackle, Evan Mathis, Dallas Reynolds was the center, Dennis Kelee, and Todd Herremans. That was the last time that you actually saw Dennis Kelee suit up for the first time in Week 8 of the 2012 season. They lost to the Falcons 30-17, and this was the starting offensive line that day. So thumbs up for Dennis Kelee coming full circle back to Philadelphia. I think he makes the roster. I'm curious who he beats out for that depth chart because the depth chart in Philadelphia is very, very interesting right now. Does Sua Opeta leave? Does Driscoll drop down one? Not sure. We're going to find out next week. Over here to Joe Castro, Philly The Talk podcast tweet here, which is drawing a lot of attention and also a lot of doubt, let's just say. Now, I trust the guy. Joe Castro, I think, is fantastic, and he does some really good reporting. Is he 100% right? No, but no reporter is. Here's what he said, quote, being told the Eagles have very high hopes for Kelee Ringo. A position switch is something both sides are open to, and no one wants this to be a redshirt year. Expect Kelee to find a role in this defense, end quote. Now, we again talked about this last night on the Wednesday Link Live. Couple of thoughts here. One, again, Joe has pretty good sources, and I think this is someone inside the organization, but are they really going to try to move him to a new position? The only option would be safety. Now, you know that he worked out with Budda Baker this offseason, and a lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to go be a safety, but does that make sense for Philadelphia and make sense for Kelee Ringo? It's not like if he changes to safety, he's going to be one of the 2 starting safeties. I'm telling you, Terrell Edmonds, Reed Blankenship, and Sidney Brown have that locked up. Not to mention Kayvon Wallace and Justin Evans, who have safety experience versus Ringo, who is primarily a corner. If this is the idea that they're trying to go with, to me, I just don't buy it, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense for both sides. To me, if I was Kelee Ringo, I'd want to go in, learn from Bradbury, learn from Slay, and try to be the best cornerback possible. That way, if an injury were to happen, or if James Bradbury or Darius Slay were to leave the next couple of years, both of which are not on insanely long contracts, especially Darius Slay, just a couple of years, you could be the next man up. You got Greedy Williams. Obviously, you have Kelee Ringo in there as well, but the only other person he's competing for to be the number 3 cornerback on this team is Zach McPherson, right? He's not battling for a slot position. I know people keep saying he's a slot guy. He's too big. He's not laterally quick enough to be a slot guy. There's a reason Avonte Maddox is in that spot, and Josiah Scott or Josh Joby fill in that on that role. So I'm not buying this idea of a position change just yet. It might be in the work. It works. It seems like there's a mutual interest according to Castro, but I want to see where they line him up during training camp. Not just week 1, but week 2, week 3, week 4. Where is he playing preseason games? I think it's still going to be cornerback, but if I'm wrong, that's going to be a very interesting development in what is one of the more, I'd say, intriguing young Eagles going into the 2023 camp season, simply because we don't know what he's going to do. We don't know how good he's going to be. He flashed some really nice talent at Georgia last year. Thought it could be a second-round draft pick, fell to the 4th round, so you get kind of this value and a lot of risk and reward, but I think there's a really good chance he could be a very decent player in the National Football League just based on the size. The question is, can he get the lateral movement, the hips, and the legs to follow along with what we know he has up here, which is a really intelligent cover cornerback and one who has really, really great size. Okay, over here to the funniest thing of the week, and that is CJ Gardner-Johnson still upset at Eagle fans. He's still mad about it, and it's really strange because CJ Gardner-Johnson was a guy who embraced Philly. He was running around with the Philly chain. He was talking about how much he loves this place, talking about how he wants to come back. Who wouldn't want to come back to Philadelphia, famously said in a Super Bowl interview. And yet, he was asked last night while streaming, which is basically what players do in order to get in trouble, is to go on their streams, on their Twitch streams, their YouTube streams, and answer questions. And he clapped back when somebody donated $5 and asked what the worst part about Philadelphia was. He said, quote, "My least favorite thing, it's the people. They're effing obnoxious. I effing can't stand the bleep." There you go. That's how he feels about us. He hates us. He hates us, which is funny. I mean, it is very, very funny at the same time. The problem that he really has is I think that he's pretty upset that the fact he didn't get a long-term deal from the Eagles organization. Now, he takes it out on us because he's very vocal on Twitter, and a lot of people on Twitter are attacking him whenever he does comments like this. Previous comments a couple of months ago, it's all fair game. Once he kind of took his first shot at Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, it opened us up to go back at him, and then he's come back at us trying to clap back and say that we're a terrible franchise and a terrible fan base, which is just not true. Play well for us. Don't disparage us in the media. We'll love you for life. Look at A.J. Brown. Look at Devontae Smith. Look at almost every Eagle on the roster right now. We love them because of how they play and how they act both on and off the football field. CJ Gardner-Johnson is more upset because his agent kind of screwed things up and had a deal in place with Philadelphia, but then said, no, I can get a better deal overall, and tried to go ahead and get more money out of the Eagles. The Eagles said no. They pivoted to Darius Slay, and it ended up taking a Lions deal, which means he will probably make less than Marcus Epps this year, which, if you watched Gardner-Johnson play last year when he was incredible, that was an absolutely terrible, terrible deal for him overall. Basically, a prove-it deal for CJ Gardner-Johnson, who was tied for the league at one point with 6 interceptions and was a very vocal, good player on this Eagle defense. So I don't engage in the whole Twitter beef with other players or other fan bases. I think it's so immature and so stupid. Like, it's not a big deal to me. But it is annoying when you see a guy who embraced it, loved it, we loved him back, and then he comes back and says we're super obnoxious. Like, is it us? Or is it actually you? Because there's a lot of players that we're not obnoxious to, but they also didn't disparage us, on Twitter or on social media or in interviews like CJ Gardner-Johnson did. So very, very interesting. Give me your thoughts. Do you care? I mean, Detroit and Philadelphia could be playoff, potential. Both teams are definitely predicted to win their divisions as of right now, more so Philadelphia, but Detroit can be a very good football team depending on if they learn how to win this year. Do you think that CJ Gardner-Johnson is being a baby about this? Do you think that he's right about this? Let me know down below in the comment section right now. Okay, plenty more stuff happening in the next couple of days and weeks. I am moving this weekend. I went ahead and was able to buy a house, my first house, which is very exciting. And so it's moving day starting tomorrow. We move all weekend, and then Monday morning, hopefully, we'll have a brand new show, which will be the first show in the new studio. I got a whole studio set up in the house. Got to build it. Got to set it up. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm hoping to take this kind of, the little corner of my bedroom right now and turn it into an actual legit studio for you guys. So thumbs up for that. Stay tuned for that, and be sure to subscribe. We're getting close to 15,000 subs. If we get 15,000 subs before training camp starts on Tuesday, that would be absolutely incredible, as we're going to try to give you guys the best wall-to-wall coverage of Eagles training camp and NFL news over the course of the next weeks, live streams, preseason games, and then get you walked up to Patriots-Eagles Week 1. So plenty of stuff happening on this show. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I think you're really going to like the plan for the new studio with a whole bunch of new equipment and lights and angles and all sorts of stuff. So stay tuned for that. All right, all today, this is the Thomas Mott Show. Thomas Mott, signing off. See you guys.